So guys, do you know what I find so funny? Every single time I'm filming a video, I only look nice from like the waist up. Down, it's always comfort. Like, let me show you guys. This is today's fits. Woo! So guys, a few weeks ago on my Facebook, I posted basically a life update, and it was kind of like just me showing you guys what life actually looks like when you just start the no furniture, the just, me and my husband in a house and there's nothing in the house. Like I just, was 100% honest with you guys because I feel like that's all I ever want to be. And yeah, that garnered a lot of support. People were telling me that they understand that they've been at similar places in their life, but it's not been as easy for them to share it, so they appreciate someone actually talking about it. It makes me realize, guys, how many of us actually feel like we're behind in life when we're actually not. Like, we're actually not behind. We just are psychologically maybe comparing ourselves to social media, and it's like social media is not real because the person behind that post might also have their own issues, oh, definitely has their own issues, but obviously social media, especially Instagram, is not built in a way that people are actually posting their problems. It's just more of, oh, look, I traveled here today, look what I ate today, look what I did today. It's not like people actually sitting there posting their toughest of times. I don't know, it just feels a bit inauthentic. Actually, guys, that's why I stopped posting so much on Instagram, because I kind of felt like I'm not really being myself. I'm more so putting up a facade of who I want to present as, or who I want people to think I am, and I don't think that's fair. Like, I don't think that's honest. So I just lost interest in a way. Yeah, I used to love it, but now it's like, I don't know, I'm more into YouTube because YouTube is, I'm being 100% myself, and people are seeing that and people are accepting that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just, I prefer YouTube to Instagram right now. But guys, yo, it's hot. Like, I'm sweating. So if I start melting in this video, just ignore, pretend I'm not sweating. Eh? This video is just gonna be like very different from our typical type of content. It's just more of like affirmation and like actually understanding that you are exactly where you need to be in life. And we all have those type of thoughts that we feel like, okay, maybe this person is my age and they're doing so much better than me. But yeah, it's just going to be like a deep dive or conversation about that from my perspective. So if you're interested in that, please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, guys. I would really appreciate it. We are now on our way to road to, is it road to 2K or road to 1.5K? Now let's be ambitious. Road to 2K, guys. Road to 2K. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. And if you do enjoy my content, please share the link on your WhatsApp status. That really helps, like with the algorithm. I would appreciate it so much. Even on Facebook, guys. Even on Facebook. And yeah, let's get into the video. Social media, basically, from my experience, like what I was talking about with the Instagram thing, social media can be the biggest thief of joy. If your newsfeed is filled with people who you think are prettier than you, or people who you think have more money than you see, I'm saying you think because it's like you never truly know what someone is going through behind closed doors. It's just more of the perception that they give you on social media. It can just be so emotionally exhausting, just like looking at people constantly who you feel like, okay, this person has more this than this person is that, can just be so like mentally draining. And the thing is, you can really influence what appears on your feed, like the type of content you're consuming. Just take a look and see, like, okay, after I go on Instagram, how am I feeling? Like, do I feel better about myself? Do I feel worse? Do I feel like it cheered me up, or do I feel more insecure in the position I am in life? And if the answer is, okay, I'm feeling like not that pretty, or I'm feeling less secure in myself after, or I'm feeling less handsome after going on Instagram, it's a thing of like, you can alter your feed because it's an algorithm at the end of the day. It's only going to show you what it feels like you want to see. So the more type of content you like, the more it'll show you that type of content. So maybe like look into content that makes you feel good about yourself, motivational content, uplifting content, just stuff that can actually make you feel like, okay, I am who I want to be. I'm exactly where I need to be in life. It's just so much more refreshing to sometimes take a step back, like just take a breather and be like, okay, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm doing great. Just affirm yourself sometimes, because the kind of words or the kind of language you speak to yourself is what you're going to end up believing about yourself, right? I had friends who constantly like belittled and degraded themselves, like, oh no, I don't feel like this is pretty, I don't feel like this is that, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, guys, at some point you need to also be wary of the type of people you surround yourself with, because insecure people will make you insecure. The way they speak about themselves will make you feel that certain type of way. It's like I love friends who are just overly confident, even if they're not confident, at least they're not bashing themselves. Ne? Guys, it's so draining. It's genuinely so draining to be someone's friend and they are constantly telling you how unattractive they think they are, how they don't like this about them. Because it's like, guys, that's not how you want to live your life. Like, you genuinely want to live your life knowing that, okay, I respect myself, I love myself, I do this. And it's like, yeah, we should also be wary of the type of people we surround ourselves with, because that can also be a major contributor towards your unhappiness in yourself, right? I had this conversation with my friend the other day, because whenever someone gives her a compliment, she's gonna know when I'm talking about her in this part. But whenever someone gives her a compliment, she would like do this thing where it's like, no, I'm ugly. Or it's like, no, if someone tells her, oh, you look good today, she's like, no, I don't. It's like, don't do that. Like, honestly, guys, I hate when people do that. If I give you a compliment and you tell me the opposite of what I'm saying, like, it's like you're saying I'm lying. I'm never going to give you the compliment again. It's such a diminishing thing, because it's like a compliment is meant to uplift you. But when you say something negative in retaliation of that compliment, you're never going to believe that thing, Shem. You're going to feel like what you said is the truth. And it actually isn't. Like, don't take what people say with a grain of salt. If someone gives you a compliment, if someone tells you you're the baddest bitch alive, you are the baddest bitch alive. Like, don't ever sit there and tell yourself that, nah, I don't look cute today, or nah, this. Because why? That is such a horrible way to live. Honestly, guys, it's so emotionally exhausting being insecure. Like, and you don't have to be insecure. Like, I understand we all have insecurities, but there's a difference between having insecurities and being an insecure person. And I feel like being an insecure person is a choice, because you can choose to uplift yourself every day and build up your confidence. It'll take time, it might take years, but you can get to the point where you feel confident in yourself, like where you feel like, okay, I'm the baddie I think I am. For me, it was very difficult to get to the point where I'm this confident, because honestly, guys, I was so bullied in high school. It was so emotionally exhausting. Like, I was schooling at GIS, Gaborone International School, and I specifically left that school because of the amount of bullying I was receiving. Like, not because I had to leave the school, but because the bullying was just too much for me. Like, there was this one guy who just constantly had so much heat for me, and I never understood why. It was just like, just so many bad words. Because I feel like when I was younger, I was so timid and I was tiny and I had this squeaky voice. So it was like very easy. And obviously, like, a messy hair. I wasn't exactly like the tidiest 12-year-old who is at that age, you know what I mean? And I feel like those kind of things, they stick with you. Like, when someone is constantly belittling you and degrading you, it sticks with you to the point where you're like, are these things actually true about me, you know? So I understand that we all have things that we need to work through to like become more confident, but it's like we don't have to let those things define our future. I understand that it's easier said than done, but we really don't, because when I really look back at it, that boy was probably just deflecting onto me, because I later found out that one of his parents had recently passed away before his bullying started towards me. So it's like, in my opinion, he was probably just trying to take out that frustration on someone. And I just unfortunately became that target, which obviously was a sad time, but it is what it is, right? Also, it's like, you never know what someone else is going through. So I always say, just be nice to people. And I feel like this one is kind of complicated, because obviously different people are going to meet you on different days. And obviously you're not going to feel your best on all days, which is fine. But I would say, like, treat people how you want to be treated. Hey, I try my best not to degrade people physically. Like, I try my best not to tell people their flaws or things that they feel, or affirm their insecurities. Like, if someone says, I feel like my tooth gap is too wide, I'm never going to say yes it is. You know what I mean? It's important to speak to people kindly, because you never know which word those people are going to take and harbor with for a long time, and that word might just be their next insecurity or something they have to like deal with for a long time. So it's like, it's also important the type of words you say to your friends, like telling them they look pretty and not belittling them. And I feel like some people degrade other people as a way of like feeling better about themselves. They feel like if they say something negative about you, it's going to somehow make them feel better about themselves, or somehow make them feel like, okay, I'm the baddest bitch alive. And I will never understand that, Jeff. I will never understand how belittling someone else can improve someone else's self-confidence. The concept of it does not make sense to me, but people still do it. So it's also important to recognize that type of a thing. Recognize, is this person giving me constructive criticism, or they're trying to belittle me to like make themselves feel better? And if you feel like it's the latter, the person is intentionally trying to belittle you, that's when you know, like, to distance yourself from that type of energy, you know? And this is another thing that I always say, the energy your friends bring is so important. I have like this one friend, I don't want to mention her because I feel like I've been mentioning her so much in my videos, but like she is so positive about the way she speaks about herself. She's so kind towards herself. She always tells herself she's beautiful, always tells herself she's the baddest. She's such a confident person. I'm talking about Subusi, so sorry guys. But she always affirms herself and just says the kindest possible things about herself. And that is something I love about her, guys. It's so refreshing to have friends who speak positively upon themselves, who speak positively upon you. And the thing is, those type of friends, you'll never hear them like talking behind your back or calling you ugly or like your eyeliner is crooked and they're not gonna fix it, because they are so secure in themselves. They don't mind you shining in your own light as well. And I feel like those type of friends are so important. And I'm not saying like cocky or anything, just people who understand themselves and are confident in themselves, because those are the type of people who are going to be positive towards you in a friendship. Because you find that all these kind of friends who like talk behind your back, are catty, are talking to your men behind your back, are hooking up with, guys that you try to talk to or stuff. Most of this type of people, you'll find that they actually just have very low self-esteem, that they feel like they need to live in your shadow or bring you down. Guys, I can tell you this like with an open heart. You'll never hear any of my friends like at the present moment where I am in life, you'll never hear any of my friends tell you that they heard someone say, I said that maybe they're not attractive, or I said that they're ugly, or I said this, or I said, you will never hear that. Ever. Like, it's just not possible. You know what I mean? Unless that person is lying on my name. But it's like, when you get to the point where you're so secure in yourself, you genuinely feel like, okay, I am secure in myself. I don't need to compare myself to anyone else. You don't compare yourself to anyone else, and you don't feel a need to belittle anyone. Like, you don't feel a need to say anything negative about anyone. You just shine in your own light. You know what I mean? And guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the most confident person to ever walk the face of the planet Earth, because I'm definitely not. But it's like a thing of like, I slowly help myself build my security in myself, in my looks, in my personality, that I don't feel like I'm in anyone's light. I feel like that's the most important thing we need to do in life, like shine in our own light, not feeling like we need to like be friends with certain types of people or just all that kind of stuff to feel like we actually shine. Like, shine by yourself, shine so bright everyone just is drawn to you and your energy, and everyone does have that light in them. Because guys, there's so many people who like are not the main character in their lives. And these are the type of people who I try to avoid being friends with, right? I try to avoid being friends with people who like, well, girls specifically, who constantly agree with you. That's scary. Like, even if, let's say, for example, you say, I don't like red apples. And then they're like, girl, same. And then tomorrow you're like, I changed my mind actually. It's green apples I don't like. And they're like, girl, same. And it's like, that's just an example. But like, there's just some people who adopt your personality because you're friends with them, or like they constantly feel like they need to kiss up in a way. I like being friends with people in life who have their own light and who shine in their own brightness and who don't feel like they need to be in my shadow. I don't want friends who I feel like are yes men. I don't want that at all. Like, maybe I'm explaining to them like something that I did that's very wrong, and they're like, girl, it's okay. I want friends who like can tell me, girl, honestly, you messed up, you could have done better, you could have handled the situation better. Just people who give you retrospect in life. I feel like that's so important, Shem. Also, I feel like another important thing that as human beings we need to do is celebrating our small wins. Because I feel like I'm so hard on myself, like not having this whole house filled up. And I think I've talked to you guys about this before, because it's like the house that we just moved into, we don't have like all the furniture in the world yet. Well, we barely have any furniture, to be honest. And it's like, I'm so hard on myself because I have this mentality that I need to have every single thing figured out. And if I don't, that means life is just not working out for me, which I feel like is not fair, because it's like, it's one step at a time. Like, it's literally one day at a time. If, let's say, for example, you just finished school and it's difficult for you to find a job, it's not just you. You're not alone in that situation. A lot of people take a lot of time to find good jobs and find things that like speak to them. And it doesn't mean that like you're not where you need to be in life. Because it's like, guys, most people's success and stuff starts like from 35 plus, because it's like some people, you hear them like late 40s. That's when you finally hear them saying, okay, I finally feel like I made it in life. I feel like we're so hard on ourselves because of the things we see in social media. Like we feel like, okay, by 22, 23, I should have already moved out of my parents' house, or I should already have a job, I should already have a car. And it's like, that's not how life works. You could have graduated and feel like, oh, that's like the biggest milestone. When it's like, that was just the beginning, right? Life is genuinely not that easy. And it's unfair that social media especially is giving us the perception that we are not where we need to be in life because of people our age online being like billionaires and stuff. And it's like, that's not realistic for most of us. And that's okay. Like, it's genuinely okay. There's nothing wrong with where you are in life. I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves. Like, we feel a certain responsibility to be somewhere and show people that we're somewhere. But it's like, guys, most of us are broke. Most of us are figuring out life, trying to get up in life. I feel like I used to be such a victim of self comparison because I like was not in a situation where like my parents had any kind of means. And my parents, I mean mom, because she raised me by herself. I feel like I wasn't in any kind of a position to ask her for anything like other kids. Like whenever people would say that parents are sending them money or they can just go stay with their parents and everything is fine. It's like I never had that just because of like the circumstances of our life and the circumstances of how I grew up. Like I had to be very independent from like the age of 16, figure out a way to make my own money, figure out a way to like basically raise myself. And I was always so envious of people who had families where they could like live in their house. And something that actually made me feel so bad is that like actually, guys, I've never spoken about this, but we used to have a house in Gaborone. I grew up in phase 4, right? But then when I was in high school, just because of the circumstances with like school fees and all that kind of stuff, we had to get rid of that house and, move into my grandmother's house. So it's kind of like I get so like envious of people who still stay in Gabs because it's like that was my whole childhood and I lost that, guys. I did lose that. And it's very difficult not to compare yourself to other people. But it's like at the end of the day, I know I'm going to build my own life. I know one day I'm going to do more for my mom than she's ever done for me. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I know I'm going to do it. It's just a thing of like feeling confident in yourself and feeling like, okay, the milestone I'm at now is a milestone. It's not a challenge. It's not an obstacle. It's a milestone that I'm going to pass, I'm trying very, very hard not to be hard on myself because it's like sometimes I get so overwhelmed. And when I'm overwhelmed, I start crying. I feel so overwhelmed because right now, the current situation we're in, I'm not able to go to the gym. I can't even drive, guys. I can't even drive at my big age. But that one is not my fault because it's like I've been in Russia all this time. And obviously, I wasn't able to come here and get my license. I left for Russia when I was a minor and I just came back like 6 months ago. Well, I went to Nigeria, then I just came back like a month ago. So it's like, obviously, there's not been any adequate time to get my license. I feel like I'm so hard on myself about those kind of things. Like, I'm like, oh my God, my mates are doing this, everyone is doing that. Like, why am I not doing this? Especially like also going to the gym. I haven't been able to go to the gym mainly because there's no gym around the area where I'm staying and we haven't been able to buy a car yet. That has like taken a toll on me because I feel like I beat myself up about it a lot and I kind of stopped because I always tell myself not to stress about things I can't control. And at the present moment, I can't control whether or not I'm going to the gym. It's not like I have a gym membership and I'm still not going. No, I can't control it right now. So it's a thing of like, it's okay. Like, it's genuinely okay. When the time comes, I will be able to go. And it's okay that I can't do that for now. I just feel like as human beings, we need to be kinder to ourselves. The thing about human beings, the way our brains are designed, we're designed to never be grateful. Honestly, human beings like naturally are that way. If let's say, for example, the milestone you wanted to hit today was maybe you wanted to pass an exam. After you pass that exam, it's going to be like, but I still have that next exam to pass. After you pass that exam, it's going to be like, but my next milestone is I want to graduate. After you graduate, but my next milestone is I want to get a car. And it's like, when do we actually celebrate the milestones that we've actually achieved instead of constantly looking at the next? The other day, I was talking to my husband and I was telling him, I was like, because there was a point where me and him were in a long distance relationship. He was in Nigeria, I was studying in Russia. And the only way we could communicate, we did that for like actually like 7 months or 8 months. The whole of this upper half of this year, that's how we were in our relationship. So it's like there was a time where just being with him was something I really looked forward to. Like just being around him because I didn't have that at one point. And it's like I graduated and then we were together and then it's like, okay, now my next milestone is moving to Botswana. Now I'm in Botswana and now I'm like, we don't have any furniture. And now my next milestone is buying furniture. And it's like, when does it end? When am I just going to sit down and realize that there was a point where I would have given up anything for what I have right now? I feel like I should just be so grateful. And if you really look at it, so should a lot of people, because where you are right now, you some time back, even if it's just your mental health improving, you sometime back would have been so proud of yourself for getting to that point. Like, damn, I can't believe I'm gonna be at that point. And it's like you are at that point and you're still hard on yourself. It's so unnecessary. And I feel like I am a major culprit in that. If being ungrateful was like a crime, I would be in prison right now. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to say the things I'm grateful for out loud. So it's like, let's just be kinder to ourselves. This is like very different from the type of content I normally post, but I actually really enjoyed filming this video, so I really hope you guys enjoyed too. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I love you guys so much. Please let me know your feedback in the comments, and don't forget, if you enjoy this video, please share it on your WhatsApp status, because maybe there's someone who can relate to it. I love you guys. I will see you guys next week, and bye.